Hey everyone, it's Jamandy52. I know many of you have been eagerly awaiting this interview. I want to thank all of those people who submitted questions and offered support. Your names will be found in the credits at the end of this video. Due to some technical difficulties, I was unable to complete the interview the way I wanted to do it. I still appreciate all of you who donated hours of time to recording, edits, and advice. I want to introduce my dad, Warner432, and thank him for all the support. You may have seen a couple of videos showing his achievements. My dad will be my guest in this video, and he will be reading the questions that you guys chose for me to answer. We couldn't answer all of them, but I hope we covered the main ones.
What was the main reason for 200 million construction experience?
Construction was a unique skill, and there was almost nobody on the first page when I started. And I realized that to get a 200 mil is like going on a journey, and I wanted to take that trip. I wanted to be unique, and I just in general actually liked the construction skill.
You made the challenge harder by going untrimmed as you're only 99. What was the biggest challenge you faced along the way?
There were actually two really big challenges. The first was money, but I just started out by making my own planks, and then every bit of cash I made, I just started buying planks with it and just throwing them in the bank. And eventually the pile grew and the pile grew. The second biggest challenge is isolation. Because of the way that the interfaces are made up, it's very hard to socialize with people. It's hard to be in a clan chat or answering private messages. It was really hard, but Skype and playing mini games and getting like the construction clothes, all of those things, those really helped because I could bond with other people while still going after my huge goal.
How long did it take?
It took about 3 years because it was early in 2009 when I saw my first construction cape. I got 99 construction on September 11th, 2010, and then I got 200 mil on January 28th of 2012. So, really it was like a 3-year journey, but once I got 99, it was a whole lot faster.
Were you competing with anyone in particular to get 200 million?
Well, at first, I didn't actually know anybody who had more construction experience than me. It started with logging into the high scores, and I would compare my friends list to my friends who had higher construction levels than me. I tried to race a couple of them to 99, but then once I had exhausted my friends list, I didn't have anybody that I knew with more construction experience than me for almost a year. So I just competed for ranks, and as I ran into people that I realized that I had met somewhere in RuneScape, I made it personal. Finally, towards the end, I guess I was around 30 million construction experience when I met Gotties, and he was going for 200 mil. So I told myself that I would try and beat him to 200 million construction experience. Regretfully, Gotties quit RuneScape, and he is truly missed. And though I did beat him, I do feel that it was an unfair competition. Cat, BRB, he met me in my journey, and we got to be really good friends. He wound up helping video at my party and stuff, but we were racing each other. We put it on our YouTube channels, we're racing to 200 mil. And there were a couple of times where we were really close, and then finally at the end, I decided that I wasn't going to give him any room to beat me, and I just went for it. Additionally, I had a couple other friends who were like, oh, well, I'm just going to sell my party hat and beat you to 200 mil, and I had some friends who made some pretty good attempts, but they burn out really quick, and they gain like 5 or 10 mil XP, and I actually felt threatened by that gain, but then they stopped. They got burnout, and it was enough to push me further. So I think that the biggest competition was with Cat and Gotties on a personal level, but there were a couple others that, they were gaining XP, and I just tried to beat them every day, get more experience than them. And I also knew that I wanted to make sure that I got a page on a rank on the first page. So in a sense, it was a competition on that larger scale.
Goals this size don't happen overnight. At what stage did you think, right, let's get 200 million? Was it even before you got 99?
As soon as I knew about the high scores, I honestly, I was 72 construction when I opened my construction company. And when I told people, you know, when I was hiring employees, they said, construction is a fast skill. We've seen many a company fold because the owner got 99 in the skill and moved on. I'm going to be here until 200 mil. And I was just level 72 construction when I really was public about it, but I think that I knew I wanted it even before then. I don't think I could really put a date on it or an exact level, but I think as long as I knew that there were 200 mils, I knew that that was my goal in RuneScape. I was going to be that 200 million construction untrimmed.
Did you do anything special during the day in preparation before the party, in real life or RuneScape?
During the day and in preparation of, I mostly had a Skype party and I had my dad in and out, and it was just a huge deal. I knew that I was doing it and I was really excited about it. But honestly, other than hanging out with a couple of really special people on Skype, I was just grinding all the way. In RuneScape, I hung out in my friends' chat, and that actually kind of distracted me a little bit more from the goal. But I think that that day was pretty special. It was an emotional ride because I knew I was at the end. But I was just trying to get it done. I wanted to get it done. I believed I could do it, and so did a lot of my friends. So I just mostly stayed on Skype or in my friends chat with those who believed in me, motivating me to finish.
Your 200 million construction party, did you expect to see so many people there, including Mod 7?
Well, Mod 7 was a surprise. I had put out an invite for a couple of J-mods that had just been in communication with me all along the whole trip. I didn't know if any of them would actually be able to make it, and then it was a really pleasant surprise because Mod 7 just PM'd me out of nowhere in game, and he's like, "Hey, how are you going? And I'm gonna be there at your party." And he was excellent. There were several friends that I wish could have been there that I know would have been there if it was at any other time, but I was surprised to see some of the friends that I did see, just because, like, we had fallen out or we weren't talking, or we hadn't talked in a while. We just, you know, each went our own way with our different goals. But it was really awesome because I had people from my very beginning days of RuneScape, and I had people that I even met earlier that day all there at the party.
Some awesome stuff happened at your party due to Mod 7 being there. What did Mod 7 bring with him to the party?
Yeah, when Mod 7 came, first he did a one-on-one private tour of me at the house, and I made a lot of typos, but there was a lot going on, and I don't think I made half of what I wanted to say clear, but that's okay. When he got there, like, everybody wanted me to bring him sooner because there was, like, spammers and people trying to figure out why are we all here taking over the Bertha troll invasion area. And Mod 7, he came, and when he showed up, it was just having him there was huge for a lot of my friends. But while I went into the troll invasion minigame, he dropped, you know, balloons, like the balloon animals from the Bob the Cat random. He dropped those all over troll invasion, like outside of it where everyone else was. But then he turned everyone into a zombie, and that happened to me too. I was just like, what? I'm trying to fight these trolls and suddenly I'm doing these zombie emotes. But that was funny. I didn't die. In fact, I didn't take any damage while I was in that, you know, so that was fine by me. It was like everything was on pause. He did different emotes. There was just a lot of stuff going on. And there's a video that is, you know, in my construction playlist. There's a couple of them, and they show some of the effects. But Mod 7 also brought the support of Jagex with him. And for me, that was important because I reached the first page and I felt like it had been a long journey. And having Mod 7 there and knowing that he was there, you know, on behalf of Jagex to support me and say, hey, congratulations on your goal. You worked hard, you know, that made the whole thing worth it. It took 3 years. 3 years. And then I had, like, the support of Jagex for, you know, about an hour. He also went to my house afterwards for a little while, but then he had to go. But he was really nice, and, like, he conversed with people. He was everything you could have asked, and he did a great job. So Mod 7 being there was huge.
You had some tough times gaining your 200 million, yet you stuck to your goals. What advice would you offer to those who feel like just thinking, there's no point, I might as well stop?
Well, I was told by Gottlieb's, he was training, you know, with me a lot of times. He said the first burnout comes at 30 mil, the next comes at 60 mil, and about every 30 mil XP you're going to hit this burnout or this why am I still doing this kind of feeling. And it's going to happen. It happens to the best of us. I mean, especially when you're in something where nobody moves, and so you're just like, you're rank locked, you know that there's no real competition, there's no motivation, you're gonna stay here for the next 6 months at this rank. If you don't move, no one's gonna pass you. There was, you know, and then there was times I'd look at it and I would look at the math and I'd look at my bank and I'd go, there's no way I'm gonna get a page 1 rank. It's not worth it. And the truth is, honestly, that you should keep going. Because had I quit, I would have been absolutely right. I'd never have gotten a page 1 rank. I finally reached the point where I decided it's my 200 mil. And even if it's not on page 1, it's still a fantastic 200 mil. And I put in all this work so far, why stop now? People who run marathons don't stop and turn around and walk back to the finish line and go over it backwards, you know? You don't go backwards over the start line. Once you start, you have to keep going, and you have to go over the finish line. It took me 3 years. But that doesn't mean that I didn't want it. So, if this is your goal, you have to keep going. You have to keep trying. As long as it's what you want to do. So my advice for you is to keep going. Don't stop. Set small goals. Today I'm going to get a 100k XP in this skill. This week I'm going to get a total of 1 million XP. This month I'm going to get 1 million or 5 million or whatever, you know, million experience in this skill. I'm going to do it. Just keep telling yourself that. And you will finish it. You will do it.
Did you ever come across any thoughts of quitting your goal?
Oh, plenty of times. Plenty of times. I had people telling me that, oh, this is stupid, good fight your bank. Why would you waste that kind of cash? There's actually a lot of negativity, and at times it would wear me down. But then I realized that, honestly, this is who I was, this is what I wanted to do, this is what I had to do. And I had to prove them wrong. So, I had to do it. And I said, if anything, the more times people tried to get me to quit, you know, I let it motivate me to keep going instead. But yes, I did come across thoughts of quitting my goal.
I know you can't offer advice for every 200 million, but what advice can you offer in terms of a basic plan, gathering items to use, buying the items, etc.?
Well, start small, set little goals. Also, be aware of ways that you like training, because when you hit that burnout, you want to be able to flip to another method that you enjoy. Watch the market, use the forums. Be aware of what's a common price for something to be at, that it hits every so often, and don't buy it for more than you have to. Put things in the GE overnight for 5% under. if you can wait, patience is the key on buyables. On non-buyables, it's a little bit more of a grind, but try and find friends that you can skill with. Construction is something that you can't train with someone one-on-one with, but something like agility you can run laps with your friends on. With construction, all of your socialization comes from the mini games that go with it. So don't discount a mini game just because you don't want to, you don't want to look like you're a cheapskate, or maybe you're just not in favor of the mini game. But there's nothing wrong with doing something like that as long as it's helping with your goal, be it like temple trekking or stealing creation.
Tell me about stealing creation.
Well, I started stealing creation and I really hated it, so I decided that every single point I got would go into construction. And until I got 200 million in construction, that stayed true. I remember on my application that by the time I became a rank in One Elite SC, that I still had over 4,000 games to go. Because I put everything that I got into construction, random lamps, penguins, troll invasion, any of that stuff went into construction. I can't give you an actual fair, factual number, but I can tell you that I played over 4,000 games. I can also tell you that as a rank, I had to play some where you lose your points because you're anti-BKing, you're basing people, But I know that I played over 4,000 games as a rank, and there are times that I would play 20 hours. I set a record in my clan that nobody has beat yet of 23 hours and 42 minutes of straight SC. We would have SC points competitions. I always made a point of trying to win. I didn't win every time, but I sure set the bar really high for everybody. So I know that I spent a lot of points, and I know that I spent over 4,000 games there for all the points, and it's just unfathomable. So I think it was worth it, though. I think it was worth it.
Did you have a lot of support?
Clans that help me with my goals, there are two that stand out the most, and that's Jam and Construction and One Elite SC. But they aren't the only ones. I just spent the most time with them. There were a lot of clans after the 200 mil that tried to encourage and support me and, cheer me on. But I want to say that Effigy's chat and Stars Galore, just hanging out with my a small group of friends. We weren't an actual clan, but we had our own friends chat that we hung out in. There's just a lot of clans that I spent a lot of time hanging out in, and it wasn't necessarily that they all gave me stuff. It was that they cheered me on or they offered support, like I just described. But One Elite SC was probably the biggest contribution, and it still is it is because I know I was giving to them by running games. They gave to me by motivating me to keep doing it, and I think that I'll always be a part of the One Elite family, and I'm thankful to be a part of the One Elite family. But there are a lot of clans, and each clan was listed in the credits of my 200 mil video with the tour with Mod 7, because there's just too many to name. And if I left a clan name out, I am sorry, because there's a lot of them that I've been a part of. There's a lot of groups that I've been a part of. There's a lot of friends that aren't tied to any clans at all. But yeah, there are clans, and I think that the answer to this question is effectively that One Elite SC, and then there's a few others on the side.
Did you meet any famous RuneScapers on your journey?
Famous RuneScapers. Well, I think that I met a good number. I mean, it had nothing to do with construction, but I met Zarfot and Tez, who's now Jake, and I met Phoenix Odin. He had a competition, and I was following him a little bit, especially after that dungeoneering glitch, and then getting to get to know Phoenix Odin a little better and hanging out in his friends chat for a little while. That was fun. I got to know Kat. I got to know Abdul just a little bit, and Lulu, and Mizu, and Gotdees. I got to meet Drowns a couple of times. There was the time that I met Jay Delacroix, and that didn't last very long. Telmo Marquez was really nice to a friend of mine, and I think that the most amazing was Paper Bag, because I was at the GE one day as a little noob. I honestly don't even think I had 99 construction. I may have, but I don't think that I did. And Paper Bag was standing at the GE, and Paper Bag had a female avatar, so in my head it was, she was saying, well, I just got 200 million construction experience. And I knew what that meant. I actually knew what that meant. And I wanted to run up there and say hi so bad, but I was so shy. So later on, when Paper Bag made a post on my RuneScape goal and achievement thread, that was huge. So, I just found a lot of motivation out of Paper Bag, and I'd watch the skilling achievements and the XP. So now I hang out in Paper Bag's friends chat sometimes, because he's got a lot of information. He's really helpful. He's actually pretty nice, and the whole community there is pretty nice. There are others, but to avoid listing them all, I'm just going to show a couple of clips of a summary of the famous people that I met. And the people that I guess I would consider famous in the clip set of this video.
If you have to do it again, what would you do differently?
Well, I am doing it again, actually, because I wanted a couple of different challenges the second time around. I want to do it without getting any combat XP, so there'll be no killing like blue dragons or frost dragons for cash. It's all going to be based off of merching and making money with skills. What would I do differently? I think I would have moved up to mahogany plank sooner, because I've learned now that GP isn't as scarce as it used to be. I would definitely probably keep doing the SC tools, at least for the most of it, and I think that I would try and beat my old XP goals, so I think I'd bank more of it, because I think it'd be kind of cool to go get, like, say, maybe 15 mil XP in a day.
Do you feel that you learned anything from this experience that could carry over to real life?
I think that I learned about hard work and dedication. I watched what procrastination would do. I learned how to set goals, and I learned how to deal with not achieving goals, like the feelings of failure. I would challenge myself. I feel that, you know, I learned a lot of computer skills in that time as well, like making videos and making guides. I learned how to find a balance socially. I think that I learned a lot from this experience that you can't even put into words, but it has changed me as a person, and I think that it has prepared me for a lot of the bigger things in life.
Will we be seeing any more awesome 200 mils from the Jamandy52?
I don't know if it counts as awesome, but I'll be getting 200 mil cooking in the next 2 weeks, and after that I'll be going for dungeoneering. My overall goal is to get all 200 mils. I don't have any end date for that. I'm just gonna do what I like as I like to, and hopefully meet some people, and we'll have a great journey on the way. There are continual updates made to RuneScape, so direct prices, item training, and tools or gear may be out of date. For this reason, I made the choice to neglect such questions as, what is the best way to train construction? Additionally, if you don't find the method fun, you should look into other possibilities. Please feel free to inbox me anytime with questions about construction. I will try to answer any that I can. Finally, please leave comments and feedbacks regarding this interview and suggestions for what you want to see next. If you want to see clips from the actual party, the links will be posted below. My thanks to my father, Warner432, and thank you again, all of you, for watching and supporting Jamandy52.